Hey everybody, welcome back to Check the Gate, a Film Lovers Deep Dive. I'm Bert, and as always, I'm joined with Brandon.
Hello.
And Michael.
Hey.
And today we are doing our 5th Bond film in our James Bond series, 2002's Die Another Day, the 40-year anniversary of the franchise. Now, Michael, this was not only your first pick, but the first pick made. Period. Wow. You had 25 movies to choose from. Why this one?
Well, because I say out of all of them, it was probably the most recent one I'd seen. And I don't know, at the time I had a real big crush on Halle Berry. So, not at the time of selecting it, but the time when it came out. And I don't know, it didn't hold up to what I wanted it to.
I would, yeah.
I could. We can go around the room and I can share my thoughts later, but yeah, that's my spiel.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna hide my feelings. I think this is like my least favorite Bond movie, and when you chose it, I was like, oh no.
But I had to see for myself, apparently.
But I will say there are things in this movie I do like, and I think that there are. I've kind of eased off the throttle. I think when you go in knowing it's the bottom, you really can't go. It can't go lower than the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like there were moments where I was like, oh, like I feel like that could have worked, but the 2002 CGI PlayStation graphic and like, and honestly, it's like do we blame the movie for the, what time it came out and the CGI graphics we had at the time? They were trying to do stuff. It just didn't work. I think you could have cut down on some 2002 post-Matrix slow motion going on too, but...
It was like Spy Kids animation.
Yes.
And I feel like it was like filmed with like a sort of filter over it that just made it just hokey.
They literally toned down the film, like the color grading in when they were filming in North Korea, because they weren't filming in North Korea. I don't know if you know this. It's famously hard to get into.
Yeah. Yes.
They're filming it in London, but they like gray it down. So they're like, no, see, I mean, it's like any other like cartel movie where, south of the border, everything's like in that neon yellow. But it's like the same. North Korea's like, it's dark blue and gray. There you go. It's bleak. Brandon, what are your opinions on the 2002 masterpiece, Die Another Day?
Boy, masterpiece is stretching. I think it was a hot dumpster fire, to be honest with you. Halle Berry was... I like those little one word quips or whatever she was throwing in extra. It was bad. It was bad.
Corny as fuck sometimes.
Oh man, like I can't remember. She was just like, bam, at one point, and I was like, wait, is this Batman or like? Yeah, it was bad.
Like Beyonce and Goldmember. Wow!
Yeah. Wham!
As the kids would call it, cringe.
Cringe. There you go.
This movie is interesting in that I should say this is the only time a Bond actor was not asked back, which is crazy to think of. Like, Pierce Brosnan's contract was up. We've had 6 Bonds. All of them kind of left on their own terms. Brosnan wanted another one to redeem himself, and the Broccoli's were like, actually, we're going to go in a much different direction.
Can I admit something?
Admit it.
So I did a little, for lack of better terms, extra credit, and watched all Pierce Brosnan's movies.
Yeah, you said that
so
GoldenEye didn't hold up.
So hold on.
I'm holding.
Shocker here.
What do I hold on to?
Pierce Brosnan has now moved to the bottom, towards the very bottom of my actors who played James
Brother,
Bond.
he was already there for me.
He and all of his movies, let me tell you, like we've followed a narrative here, like our themes of the movie that we've kind of categorized and scored. Let me tell you, all of his movies are cut, paste, insert, we have to have this, like, and it does not flow. It doesn't, they're all bad. Hate me if you want, but they're all bad.
I don't think they are all bad.
My opinion.
No, sure, yes. His movies do rank. I honestly don't know what it is. Like, would Timothy Dalton's Goldeneye have been like that? You know, had he done Goldeneye? I don't know what happened between, like, it was slapstick with Roger Moore. We went too serious with Dalton, so now it's correct, and kind of go back to the winky, suaveness of Roger Moore. But then people just reacted so negatively.
I think it was. I honestly think this section was just like, for lack of a better term, try hard. Like they tried. There was no real creativeness to them. Even the way that the CGIs were just bad. I think they were worse than some of the older movies with just straight green screen.
Are you telling me that the newspaper mogul in Tomorrow Never Dies that wants to get media rights for China didn't hold up exactly in an age where newspapers are dead? The print is dead.
I mean, you could throw away the newspaper and just presume it's like the internet.
Tomorrow's news today. No.
That part, I didn't think was that far off from real life, but yeah, this newspapers.
This one seemed like it was a lot, just really kind of not honing in, but just diving into like, and obviously they didn't mean to, maybe they did, but just copy paste stuff. The really dramatic, like, kind of like super dramatic with a very dramatic name of the villain's like plan, like, and then just all the little, like Bert said, like the tongue in cheek little, like, never deliberate jokes.
But also the villain's plan. He named his machine after a folly. Yeah. Icarus flew too close to the sun and burned his wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got halfway through and I was like, what have I done?
I'm not going to lie. I still enjoyed the watch because, like, even a bad Bond movie is still a good 2 hours. And not like it's like, oh, it's a good 2 hours. Like, it's still a fun 2 hours.
But
I would have spent 2 hours on other things
to be fair, Brandon.
Agreed.
Brandon spent another 7 hours.
I did.
He's like, I don't want to spend 2. I want to spend 7. Just
but it was something that I feel like I needed to revisit because after watching 1, I was just like,
is it really that bad? I gotta watch more to get proof. Oh, yep, it's that bad.
I will admit, when you were talking about the music, I was like, yeah, the music in Goldeneye is bananas.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, these were my era movies, like, that, like, idolized these movies and the video games. Playing the video games, everything, like, I was all about the cars, the gadgets, everything. But now rewatching them, it's just like, ugh. Those did not hold up. Like, I like the older ones way better.
You want to know what's kind of funny is, like, Casino Royale was the first Bond movie I ever saw in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 06, so I was 15. But I'm also like that mid-teenager, kind of jaded a little bit, where, like, the only, like, TBS and TNT would play, like, Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough, like, all the time. So, like, honestly, Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough are, like, the 2 Bond movies I've probably seen the most, just because they were always on TV and my dad would watch them. And I was just like, these movies aren't good. And then just being, like, super jaded going to see Casino Royale. I was like, oh, we're going to see a fucking Bond movie. These movies suck. And then just being like, oh, my God. they cannot be. And then
not all of them do.
And that was what sent me back to start going through, and then just being like, and then finding these gems, and then like taking the good with the bad, and like knowing that history going up. But at the same time, I feel like Brosnan was just dealt a really bad hand, because his movies are just so subpar. And honestly, I will say there are some moments where I'm just like, I feel like you want to be doing these silly one-liners, but they're just not working. We're past that.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just not working. Cut it out.
I just felt really like thin in every sense of the word. Like,
you're 100% right.
Like, no one's emotions were really there. No one really sold it. I don't know.
Yeah. But let's make sure that there's more explosives and booms and everything than all the Bonds combined. I swear to God, like
riding waves and shit. You know.
Well, it's the 40th anniversary, Brandon. We're pulling out all the stops. They delayed the film 1 year because they were on a 2-year schedule.
Yeah.
They delayed it 1 year so that it could come out on the 40th anniversary, and then in that 1 year, 9/11 happened. And everybody just were like, we don't need silly anymore. And then they truly went back to the drawing board. Hard reset. Pierce Brosnan has said, I didn't like all the silly gadgets. I didn't like the really cheesy effects and CGI. I wanted to go back to a darker roots. And then the Broccoli said, you betcha, we're doing that, just not with you.
Thanks for the input. We will do it with someone else.
Takes notes. I should say that Quentin Tarantino said he always wanted to do a black and white James Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan doing the Casino Royale book. But obviously that has never happened. But let's get into, I'd say, the meat and potatoes of this movie, but let's get into it.
Potatoes, you know.
Like I said, this is a 2002 film, Die Another Day. James Bond is sent to investigate the connection between a North Korean terrorist and a diamond mogul who is funding the development of an international space weapon. The top 3 films of 2002. Number 3, Spider-Man. Number 2, any idea which Harry Potter movie is out right now?
I'm just going to be wrong, so no.
It's 2002, so it's Chamber of Secrets.
I was going to say Azkaban, but so that's why I didn't ask or say it.
The first one came out in 2001, right?
That makes sense.
The Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah. Oh.
And then number 1 is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. A ticket cost in 2002 $5.81, which is equivalent to $10.35 our money. The budget for the film was $142 million, which is equivalent to $253 million. The box office was $432 million, which is equivalent to $769.8 million. It made money, but not to the extent that they were kind of used to with how much they were putting into it. And then obviously the reviews came back very negative, which made them also decide to do a full reset. This film was also nominated for 0 Academy Awards. I know for a fact there was at least 1 Razzie nomination, but we're going to get into the Razzie nomination in like 5 minutes. This cold open, in my opinion, is probably the best part of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
To me. And honestly, if you take out the silly X Games surfing in, I think it's like a very good cold open.
So bad.
So bad.
Yeah, I just was like, did I watch the wrong movie?
North Korea is known for surfing.
Is this Point Break?
Into the Blues playing right now.
Yeah.
I will say I got my scenes backwards because I thought it was the really bad CGI windsurfing in at the beginning. So I was at least pleasantly surprised that it wasn't the really bad CGI windsurfing, but it was still like...
Still bad.
This is the only way to get into North Korea, shredding the gnar.
Setting the tone for the movie.
hanging 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got Brosnan and 2 operatives crashing into North Korea. There's a weapons deal about to happen. We see a helicopter land. A man gets out of it dressed exactly like Pierce Brosnan. Brosnan holds him up, does a classic swap. He checks it, opens we got a bunch of conflict diamonds. Conflict diamonds that will be used to purchase weapons, which he swaps the spot for, takes the diamonds out, loads the suitcase up with a shit ton of C4, has it connected to his watch, puts the diamonds back in, and carries on his business as usual. We go and we meet our, dare I say, big bad of the movie. Will you find out is actually the big bad of the movie. A Colonel Moon. We're introduced to him by punching his anger therapist.
Not just therapist.
Anger therapist. He's got him in a punching bag. He's laying the wood on him, unzips it, he falls out. Get me another anger therapist. He says something really silly, too, like, that'll teach you for therapizing me, or something like that. Like,
got him.
Like, dude, that's what you literally hired him to do.
Yeah, tricked him.
Got him.
Our henchman, Zhao. I wanted so much more out of this guy. I like the look he ends up getting, especially as, Diamond Face or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just kind of turns into like there's like 6 or 7 Bond movies that just have tall muscle henchmen that kind of don't really do anything outside of just are kind of there.
They all have one name too.
Yeah, Zhao. I call him Diamond Face, but
it's easier to yell out, Yeah.
Diamond Face.
It's like when you're picking out a dog name, you want to make sure that it's suitable for you yelling across the park,
It has to always, like, you got to be able to shorten it with a Y sound,
Yep, that too.
Zowie.
The weapons in question are hovercrafts that they want to use because they're in the demilitarized zone in North Korea, essentially free float over all the mines and, one would presume, invade South Korea.
Does anybody really think that would even work?
It did. They drove right over him. They even myth busted it, by the way.
Wow.
Did they?
Yeah. I promise. There was an episode on Mythbusters. They did like a whole James Bond thing. They even tried doing the invisible car.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to look it up because my son's been liking those shows. So we'll watch that one.
Have you been watching Bond movies with them?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Nice. He thought parts of this one were cool, but
which were your 8-year-old son's favorite parts?
Just the explosions, the ones that I was ragging on.
Yeah. Somewhere out there, Michael Bay just got a boner.
Someone say explosions.
So here's something that there's a whole double agent crisscross, somebody narked on me kind of thing. But like we see Zhao take Bond's photo, and one would believe is uploading his photo to then get his identity. But then they add this whole, no, you were double crossed. They're acting like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I totally. I feel like that's a common theme in these newer Bond movies. Like they know who he is.
Yeah.
But then they act like somebody like either flipped him or like now he's working for the bad guys, but they all know who he is.
And then we find out that Michael Madsen knew that Rosamund Pike was the double agent this whole time, and I was like, but then we do this whole pretend thing of Bond is the one who was giving up information. I was like, What are we doing?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Zhao finds out, hey, this guy is a British agent. He has a license to kill. I like that it has it on there. That way they know this guy's out there.
It's a license.
Guy's deadly.
Sorry. License to kill. He lets Moon know, hey, this guy up to no good. Moon pulls out these tank buster machine guns, blows up Bond's helicopter, so Bond knows that he is, he's done for. He lets him know, he's like, how are you supposed to kill me now, Mr. Bond? Hearkening back to old, Bond villains of lore. He goes to kill him, but obviously he sets off his watch, which detonates the diamonds, blows that poor diamond inspector to pieces, but in doing so, engraves 10 diamonds in Zhao's face, giving him a pretty sick look. And later in the movie, he does look very sick because he just looks ill.
Those diamonds are
the gene therapy. They just have him look like E.T. at the end of E.T. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Very translucent skin.
Just looking like a hot dog casing.
Literally.
Bond escapes by using one of those hovercrafts, and he's chasing after Moon. There was a really funny moment because these hovercrafts they look like the Florida fan boats,
swamp boat.
Yeah, there you go. That in the wide shots, the person who is stunt doubling for Bond, for Pierce Brosnan, has like flesh tone giant headset that is clearly there so he doesn't go deaf from the giant fan behind him. So it's funny when you watch the wides pull out, there's clearly a different person, but with also like a giant headset on. He goes chasing after Moon, jumps on Moon's hovercraft. A brawl ensues. They're driving towards an edge. This happens so many times in this movie where they're just driving towards a cliff. Luckily, to get to the cliff, there is a wall with a gong and a bell that they blast through. Bond holds on to the bell, gives us a quippy Saved by the Bell comment as we see Moon plummet over the cliff to his death. Bond dusts off, does his Saved by the Bell quip, only for Colonel Moon's father to surround him and take him into custody and torture him for 14 months. And I assume they tortured him by playing this Madonna song for 14 months. When we did Goldfinger, I mentioned Goldfinger is my favorite Bond song, and that also in this series we will be doing what I consider the worst Bond song. And fellas, we are here.
I forgot about the Madonna aspect in here.
Oh,
I was
man.
Like, ooh.
She's out there just, Sigmund Freud, analyze this. Like, just this
cringe
nasty synth poppy techno beat with like these PlayStation 2 effect scorpions scurrying across the ground. Honestly, I do like that we're getting images of him getting tortured. Like, it's letting us know that he's being away for a long time. Obviously, it ends with saying it's been 14 months later. Which, it's just, oh man. And then at the end credits, they play like an even dancier version of the song. And I'm like, good God, guys. Where does this song... How you guys feeling about this jazzy tune?
Poop. Pure poop. It's just so bad, and I don't know. It's just bad.
We worked with a guy.
Side note, real quick. So the writer,
Purvis and Wade,
Bruce Firestein. After, because he wrote Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies. The World Is Not Enough. This guy doesn't write ever again.
Maybe
when you say write, do you mean the movie? Because the movie was written by Purvis and Wade, or do you mean the song?
Oh, I was going off the writer. Written by... Oh, whoops, I was looking at the wrong movie, that's why. But still, that's funny.
Purvis and Wade still went on to write a few Daniel Craig movies, too. And it's interesting, because it's like, okay, so
yeah,
what went wrong?
Yeah, where was this? Oh, yeah, you wrote quite a few.
But...
sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, 14 months later, Bond is yanked from his cell, and he finds out that he's part of a prisoner exchange walking down that long bridge as he's walking into the fog, and he sees that he's being traded for Zhao.
The bridge of no return.
Yeah. They kind of make eye contact. He's still got the diamonds stuck in his face. Michael Madsen is there. And Michael, do you know this? Maybe this is something that... this movie was supposed to kickstart a spin-off franchise with Halle Berry's Jinx as like the American James Bond, and Michael Madsen was going to be her M.
Interesting.
Essentially. And then obviously due to, the negative feedback from this movie, that was completely scrapped altogether.
They're like, just kidding, we're not going to do that.
They had signed on for multiple movies. It was just going to be like Chronicles of Jinx or whatever. I don't. That's not what it was going to be called, but it's just like it would just be her side quests doing all this other dumb stuff.
And how far did we get with that?
This movie.
That's what I figured. Damn.
But that is the reason why he is there, she is there. We get Bond. He's in his little hospital bed. I like how we're neon light scanning his body. It looks like he was poisoned by scorpion poison. Antidotes working through his body. His organs are in pretty good shape, except for his liver. Oh, that's Bond, all right. Like it's just like. First entrance as Judi Dench as M. By the way, one of the only holdovers from the Brosnan era to the Craig era.
And I feel like she's always been great as M.
I feel like that's why she's the only holdover.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do, get rid of Judi Dench?
She's like the only character that like is consistent.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to be consistent when you probably work 4 days on a movie.
Yeah.
But
not a bad life.
Yeah. Why not? It's a guaranteed paycheck every...
And she nails it, so good on her.
She did what? 7 movies? Did all 4 Brosnans, and then she gets, spoiler alert, killed in Skyfall.
Yeah.
But she's in Spectre. She filmed a few scenes for Spectre, but yeah, okay. M lets him know that the Americans were feeling worried about you because they are starting to, Koreans are starting to get intel that only so many people knew. You were on that beach that day. You were taken hostage. So they think you're, blabbing, giving away secrets. So they caught Zhao, who, by the way, is, blowing shit up. He's a terrorist out there. If it were up to me, you would still be in a North Korean jail because Zhao is too dangerous to be free. And so by trading you, we're now allowing him to be free. Bond assures her, I know the rules, death before dishonor kind of thing. I would never do that. Judi Dench kind of gives him the thumbs up of, I know. To which I have written here, Bond escapes the hospital by faking a heart attack.
Escapes the hospital.
But he faked the heart attack, though. The machines are going, this man's having a heart attack.
So he can pretend he'll die, and then...
And they go to... And what you do when somebody's having a heart attack, you give them mouth-to-mouth.
Aha.
To which he says, thanks for the kiss of life. And then he escapes in his light blue terry cloth PJs, sneaks away to a Hong Kong hotel. Brandon, I don't know if you know this, but since you did just watch Tomorrow Never Dies, Michelle Yeoh was asked to come back and reprise her role. And she was going to be the person who got him to Cuba. But money negotiations didn't work out, so, Academy Award-winning actress now, Michelle Yeoh.
Not very good.
In Tomorrow Never Dies. She slides a motorcycle under a helicopter blade while she's handcuffed to Bond.
Okay.
I don't know why I remember that movie so much.
You're 100% right, but I don't think she was necessarily bad, but her character was obnoxious and always popping up at the same time as Bond and just being annoying.
I would argue Halle Berry does that a lot in this movie too, because they're almost not even working together until like the end of the movie.
Exactly, and same with that scene when they're handcuffed together is when they finally start working together. But she always pops up on classified locations, like how the like they're just there at the same time. Like,
yeah, cause
no, get out of here.
Bond does Bond shit and gets himself the presidential suite at a fancy Hong Kong hotel. I do like that, how he's like, my regular suite, please. And the guy behind the clerk is like, uh-oh, we got another cuckoo bird in the lobby. To which the owner of the hotel comes out and says, of course, Mr. Bond, we'll have your tailor sent right to you. Also, the lobster mac and cheese is very good today if you would like some food sent up. And 1969 Bollinger champagne. Yes, of course. We'll even send up a masseuse to release your aches and pains. To which they do, and he immediately is like, okay, I'm being watched. He pulls the gun out from under her legs, throws the, like, crystal ashtray at the window where there's, like, 4 men with lit cigarettes and a boom mic in the camera. I'm just, like, filming him clearly just in the closet. To which he says, I always knew that you were Chinese intelligence. You're spying on me. But here's the thing. I need your help because I know for a fact that Zhao, you know Diamond Face? Zhao? He killed 3 of your Chinese intelligence operatives. And if you get me into North Korea, I will avenge their deaths for you. To which the guy's like, great idea. Fun fact, he's actually in Cuba. I missed that the first time I'm watching it. Cassie's in the living room watching it, and I'm just like, why is he going to Cuba all of a sudden? Like, I literally had to rewind it, like, that entire conversation, because it happens in, like, 30 seconds, where he's like, if you send me to North Korea, I'll avenge the deaths. And then he gets a ticket to Cuba, and no questions were raised. Goes to Cuba. Turns out, there was a 5-second conversation where he says, actually, Zhao's in Cuba. And he goes, okay, I'll go to Cuba. In Havana, Cuba, at like that old cigar factory, he's working with that guy who he's like, they think he's coming to kill one of them, and once they find out, he's after Zhao, he's like, oh yeah,
you're cool.
We'll definitely work out with you. Zhao, he's on this island where they're doing some crazy gene therapy stuff. So you should check out that island. And Bond's like, I will, but first, I need a beach cocktail. He drives to the beach where he can see the island just right offshore. He gets himself a mojito, or he keeps pronouncing it stupid the entire movie.
Yeah. It's like super accentuating, super accented white people.
Mojito.
Yeah.
Tourist.
I want to blend in, I don't want to think I'm a phony.
The bartender's like, whoa, man, it's a fucking mojito. And he goes, yes, that's what I said, a mojito.
No.
Are you troubled by the mosquito?
No, I said mojito.
Let me get this guy out of here.
He pulls out some very large binoculars. He's looking at the island out, and then all of a sudden we get a tip of the hat. It's the 40-year anniversary. We have Halle Berry coming out of the water, literally in the first Bond girl's Honey Rider outfit of the bikini with the white belt with the knife strapped to it. In fact, when we did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, him pulling out the knife belt in his desk after he resigned, that's one of the things we talked about, how that movie kept just being like, hey, remember the other guy? Remember Sean Connery? That is one of the items he pulls out of his desk. She comes up walking to him. They kind of flirt back and forth. He says, would you like a mojito?
She's like, why are you saying that?
Bug spray.
They have this weird thing where he's just like, so what do you do? And he's like, I'm an ornithologist. I'm here for the birds. And she like fully is looking down at his crotch, and she goes, what a mouthful. And then she says, what are you doing right now? And he goes, I don't have anything going on till dawn. And she goes, I too have nothing going on till dawn. And he goes, so we're both in agreement. We have nothing going on until dawn. Cut to them, I'm assuming, boning until dawn. Because they both... I have in my notes, they bone until dawn because they both agree they aren't busy until dawn. And she mama birds fruit into his mouth, too.
Oh, lovely. Bunch of weirdos.
The next morning, Bond awakens, and he sees Halle Berry, who, by the way, has named herself Jinx, because her relationships don't last. So she's a Jinx.
Love a person that gives themselves a nickname, you know?
Bond's like, oh, you're one of those. Leaving on a boat, headed to the island, and he follows her by finding a Russian guy who had a ticket to end up going to that island, maims him by knocking him unconscious, puts him in a wheelchair, uses him to get onto the island, and then just, like, dumps his body.
Yeah. Pushes him off that cliff, like your gif.
Yeah. On the island, he happens upon a hidden room that we also are kind of, like, we're cross-cutting between Bond, like, discovering this room, and also Jinx is, like, talking with the gene therapy doctor, whom she then assassinates, kills, sets up a bomb to blow up all his files, and then we cut back to Bond finding a room that has Zhao undergoing gene therapy. His hair is gone. He's got his skin is pale white. He's completely bald. He's got, like, the veins creeping on the side of his face, but he's still got the diamonds enlarged in his face. We see that he's trying to change his appearance into what looks like Topher Grace. He wakes him up, by squeezing the. I'm assuming would that like, where does that hurt? Squeezing that bag. Is it just directly into your arm? Where, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I would imagine it's forcing the IV or fluid or whatever, like, into the veins, so it's like pumping your veins up.
You're like overloading it.
Yeah. No. I could be wrong, but
no.
That's what I was gonna say. So at least we're both wrong.
He hops up and they have a brawl in a 2002 slow-mo, like, crash cutting, shit's exploding. Zhao is escaping. Meanwhile, and then, like, Jinx is showing up randomly, and then he's like, "Don't go anywhere!" And then, like, the office explodes. He finds out that she killed the doctor. Sees, like, the burn stuff with her. Man, it's just so much is happening, but also it doesn't feel like anything's really happening.
Yeah.
I keep riding this wave of talking about it. It's just like, I don't know. And then Zhao, like, gets on a plane. A helicopter escapes. Jinx is able to kill everyone on the helicopter except the pilot and Zhao. So she's like a very good shot, but also just not really, because the person she's shooting at is not getting hit. And then we get the police have Jinx up against that cliff, and then she just, like, trust falls over the edge, and it's like music video level graphics of, like, her going backwards into the water. Back in Havana, Bond is inspecting the conflict diamonds with, like, the cigar manufacturer guy. They're looking, and he goes, well, these are actually, they have the same acidic quantities as, like, an African conflict diamond, but these ones, however, have this little tiny GG engraved on them. And he goes, oh, well, that's Gustav Graves' emblem.
Of course it is.
Weird the villain is putting his own logo on it. He's like, I gotta get my name out there,
Yeah. Advertising.
I've only been around for 14 months. There's another aspect of this I would like to talk about when we get there. Of, like, his entire backstory, but he's only been around for 14 months.
Did a lot in the time that he's got,
Yeah. Lived life to the fullest.
Yeah.
He decides I must meet this man, this Gustav Graves. Cut to us meeting Gustav Graves. He's recreating the Spy Who Loved Me by jumping out of the helicopter, parachuting with the Union Jack parachute. We meet his publicist, played by Rosamund Pike, who this is her very first film she's ever made. Gone on now to make many great things.
Yes.
glad she put this one behind her.
Yes.
Everyone's got to start somewhere, right?
Honestly,
yeah, exactly.
Kind of glad she survived it.
Yeah, no kidding.
They let us know that Gustav Graves is going to be knighted by the Queen, but he can't get knighted right now because he has to go to fencing practice. Bond is like, I too am going to check out this fencing practice at like the Blade Club. Also because I hear that Madonna hangs out there. And we meet Madonna there.
Maybe that's how he achieved so much in 14 months. It's just like boom, 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 you know?
Madonna lets us know that Rosamund Pike is her protege. She won the gold medal in the Olympics in fencing. Whether or not the actual person who was better had a heart attack, died of poisoning, whatever, it doesn't matter. She got gold. She's now training Gustav Graves. He's actually the best in fencing, and nobody wants to challenge him, to which Bond says, I'll do it. Confronts Graves, says, how about we have a little match, and then you can tell me, if I win, you can tell me about these conflict diamonds with your logo on them. He goes, you got yourself a deal, but why don't we up the stakes? We're playing with real swords, guys. It just turns into a giant dick measuring contest as we're smashing the entire Blade Club. Portraits, furniture, coat of arms being knocked, many things. Finally, it ends when Bond cuts him in the stomach. All right, cool. You're a cool guy. I'll pay you. I'll write you a check downstairs, and also I want to invite you to my Icarus project. You know the famous mythology person who flew too close to the sun? I named my wacky harebrained idea after it.
Well, just like after that whole like running around the place, smashing everything, he's like, oh, looks like you won. Okay, handshake. You want to be part of the club? Okay, next scene. Let's go.
Let's go to Iceland.
Yeah.
Well, he already knows about the diamonds, so it's not like, I mean, what are you going to do? So, they... as he's leaving, we have a man who brings Bond a message, and then also, like, I like how we're just, like, seeing people, like, fixing the furniture, taking...
It's like, oh, this is a normal day.
Yeah. Guy says it needed the new decorating anyway. Graves invites him to Iceland so he can view his Icarus project. But before that, I have this message. I have to go meet Q. We meet Q, and honestly, everything in Q Branch is just a remember that. Like the alligator submarine from Octopussy is in there. That jetpack is from Diamonds Are Forever, where he's like, oh, does this thing still work? The shoe with the knife in it is Irma Bunt's.
Yeah.
And there, Q gives him VR glasses, which he will never use, a sonic ring that can blast through any kind of glass, even bulletproof glass, and another watch. I believe this is your 20th getting, because it's the 20th movie, it's the 4-year anniversary. And also, you need to drive in style. Let's wheel out the car. And I like how it comes out of the tunnel and there's nothing on it. And one of the very few good line readings from Brosnan, he's like, maybe you've been down here too long.
Yeah.
Only to find out that it's an invisible car. Guys, but we're back to an Aston Martin. Brought the Aston Martin Vanquish. They call it a Vanquish. We call it the Vanish.
Pretty
tiny,
cool.
Yeah, tiny cameras all over the car that project on the other side, making this completely invisible. Awesome.
Yeah.
We cut to a scene where M is talking with Rosamund Pike. We find out that Rosamund Pike is actually an agent working for the British government, but she's also spying on Gustav Graves. And I'm not bragging about this. But when I saw this movie for the very first time, I said, she's obviously the double agent. I was like, it wasn't exactly a reach. They sit down, and it's such a weird scene, because the whole scene is just Judi Dench saying, you're a lady, Bond's a man, don't have sex with him. Like, the whole time. You're going to have to work together, just don't work too close, if you know what I'm saying. That's literally what the entire scene is.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a 2-minute scene of them just saying, don't. I know you want to, but don't. Cut to us in Cut to us in Iceland. Bond arrives at this massive ice hotel that took 6 months to construct, by the way.
Easy peasy.
Obviously isn't made out of ice, but the actual set that they filmed on and inside took 6 months to construct. Gustav Graves rolls up in his like supersonic glider that's like going over the ice. It almost looked like it was going to be a cologne ad, the way he was like coming towards the camera on that glider and like opens up, and I was waiting to hear him be like Sauvage or whatever that. They get out. His little weird, creepy German scientist is letting him know that he almost broke his record. Zhao arrives in Iceland, and we find out that Colonel Moon is actually Gustav Graves' post-gene therapy. Lets him know, hey, how are you, brother? Ooh, that thing, you got to stop picking that. It's never going to heal. I'm talking about the diamonds in his face, and he goes, don't worry, we got the gene therapy stuff going here. We'll get you under. It's like a tattoo removal, but I'm assuming just removing his face. That night, Graves presents his Icarus project, which is a super satellite that reflects sunlight all over the Earth to wherever, Icarus is pointing at. For agricultural reasons, we can, plant fields better in parts of the world that don't normally get this kind of sunlight. Sustainable energy, that kind of, all that good stuff. Bond goes snooping after Graves' lackeys in his invisible car, and wouldn't you know it, the second he gets out of his car, he gets caught, because he's not invisible anymore. He's a fucking car, dude. He escapes capture, though, because Rosamund Pike throws herself at him, just being like, oh, M said this would happen, I can't believe it happened. And they go back to her hotel room for some nookie, which Bond says, I'll have to stay here all night, to which she immediately just gets undressed. He puts his gun under the pillow, politics of dancing kind of thing. When you're in my business, that's what you have to do. We see that Jinx is breaking in to Graves' facility, and again, is immediately captured.
Dagnabbit.
Graves zaps her with his Nintendo Power Glove, that his German side. Which, by the way, the Nintendo Power Glove is already 15 years, too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the fact that they're just I don't know, and it electrocutes people like the Emperor.
They're like, it's still cool. Let's try it. Let's try to bring it back.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate it. I do think it's just really silly that it's clearly just a Nintendo Power Glove flag. Zaps her out, knocks her unconscious. They hook her up to a machine. They're about to laser her face off, and they said, who sent you, kind of thing. And she says, yo mama. She wants you to know she's very disappointed in you. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yo mama jokes in a James Bond movie.
Got
Get
him.
out of here.
It was a real mind goblin, I'm not going to lie.
That's another good one.
That next morning, Bond lets her be captive for an entire night because he's got things to do, people to do. That next morning, Bond...
And why not?
I guess, yeah.
Get her out of the way.
The whole time I'm thinking that bed is a giant ice statue of a swan. Is that mattress just wet all the time? Yeah.
Yes.
The bear skin comforter that they're using, is it just
it's a soggy
soaking
mop.
wet?
Yeah.
Things that you're supposed to be thinking when you're watching.
Right.
Just hyper focused on.
That next morning, Bond decides, I gotta get in to that facility. I see that they have a little atrium of piping hot water, so clearly all I have to do is ice fisherman hole ground, and I'll swim through the freezing cold water and then just pop up in the atrium, which is exactly what happens. Where he meets Mr. Kill, which, by the way, he gets out of the car and he goes, my name Mr. Kill. And he goes, that's a name to die for. I'm like... Sees that Jinx is being held hostage and is about to be lasered in the face. he has a tussle with Mr. Kill, and again, a very 2002 laser fight where they're fighting but staying out of the laser beams. Finally, Jinx is able to get the controls because it luckily just swings over to her. She grabs it, lasers Mr. Kill in the face through the back of the head, and the laser beam comes out his mouth. Honestly, it looks pretty cool, but this is where Jinx lets us know that she is working for the NSA, and this is where they finally start working together. We are about an hour and a half into this movie. We only have 45 minutes left, and they're like, let's work together.
Yeah.
I completely missed how Bond figures out that Graves is actually Moon. Do you guys remember?
I do not.
I do not.
No.
Because he literally just goes and confronts him knowing that he's Moon now. And that's where, Gustav Graves, yes, I'm General Moon. And he tells him that he modeled his face after Bond's.
Right.
They don't look at all alike.
No.
But he wanted to take the smarmy, douchey English face, I guess, is pretty much what he says without saying. To which, if I'm Toby Stevens in real life, I'm like, that kind of hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I'm offended.
That's my face.
What the hell, guys?
He does have a very punchable, douchey, smarmy face.
Toby Stevens?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Dame Maggie Smith's son. I found that out today.
No way.
Mrs. McGonagall, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike comes in, pulls a gun out, has it pulled on Gustav Graves, to which Bond says, you should always, something along the lines of, you should learn who to trust these days. And Graves is like, actually, funny story, you should actually know who you should be trusting. Did you ever figure out who betrayed you in Korea? Mm-hmm. And that's when Rosamund Pike turns the gun on him, and he's like, I've never met you before. How could you betray this? This is my thing. They've never met before. This is where...
Why?
Yeah, this is where this finger-pointing game comes in, and you're like...
I also feel like we're not using Icarus the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying... I'm just like... I understand that you want to get the mines out of the demilitarized zone, but why aren't you pointing that laser at, actual, big cities? Instead of just, look, now we can cross the border.
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike is bad. We've just found that out. We see that Jinx is getting locked in her room while we're cross-cutting between Bond getting held at gunpoint. He uses his sonic ring because they're standing on that giant glass floor. It breaks through, he falls, and escapes on Graves's, crazy Cologne commercial glider. To which the weird German scientist is like, he just broke your record. And Graves kind of gives him the old stink face.
It reminded me of like a Chew 5 gum commercial back in the day.
Especially with the Icarus beam coming down.
Yes.
Graves activates Icarus, and he focuses the sunlight to make a magnifying beam of heat. So instead of just sunlight, I will intensify it, so now it's a frickin' laser.
Freaking laser beams.
And he's using it to chase Bond with. Bond drives his glider towards the cliff, launches his hook out to try to grab onto anything he can. The glider goes over the cliff as the beam catches closer. The hook catches, the glider's just kind of hanging there, to which he then dismantles the glider to take the parachute brake out and the back fin off to then strap to his feet so he can then windsurf the wave, because then Icarus beam cuts the cliff off, sending the giant ice wall falling, which creates a massive wave that then Bond can now boogie board his way around.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh, wipe out.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Honestly, very cool. I will say the CGI is very bad. You can
so
clearly see
bad.
that he's just like in front of a green screen, just being like,
That's what I'm saying. Like we didn't know what to do with. They're like, oh, let's do this. It'll be sick. And then like,
It'll be cool. Oh, yeah.
I would have almost taken the CGI from like, many older Bond movies. Like, I mean, CGI. The special effects more like it, but
well, he's able to get pitted and ride the Nar as the wave crests back over onto land, and then just kind of floats back onto land. Dusts himself off as if nothing bad happened. He commandeers a snowplow by knocking out one of Graves' guards, and he takes that to drive back to the ice hotel because he knows that Jinx is trapped there. To which, obviously, Graves, from his plane, is now directing the Icarus heat beam on the ice hotel so it'll melt, killing Jinx in the process, too. He's able to call his invisible car over. He sneaks in, no big deal. He's trying to figure out where on the GPS tracker Jinx is at. Unfortunately, a man on a snowplow drives directly into the car, sending him flying. It alerts Zhao. Zhao gets in his souped-up Jaguar, and we get a 5-minute car commercial about how an Aston Martin and a Jaguar can handle over the ice.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a little boy to pop out and go, zoom, zoom. Yeah, it definitely, this specifically, like I joke about the cologne commercial, this really did feel like what every car commercial is like now.
Yeah.
They're driving around on the ice. He sees he turns his way back in, breaks his way into the ice hotel. He needs to go upstairs, but luckily this ice hotel is built like a parking garage, because it just keeps going up where both cars can fit as they slowly go up. But then we see they're only on the 3rd floor, even though it felt like they were driving for like forever. They get to a dead end. Bond is now trapped. This whole time he's been trying to get his camouflage to work back on because the car isn't going invisible. It finally loads right as Zhao is about to, instead of shoot with a missile, he wants to ram his car. He goes to ram. The cloaking device turns on, so Zhao goes, oh no, he's invisible. Bond backs up. Zhao breaks through the wall, goes flying into the water, because obviously this ice hotel is melting, so we're also amassing a shit ton of water. It's not melting away, it's melting into a giant puddle that's filling up. Bond drives away, and in an act of defilement, as Zhao pops his head out of the water, he shoots a chandelier, and it might as well just be one giant middle finger to this man. Shoots the rope from a chandelier. The chandelier falls as Zhao looks up and is impaled by this, and we know this because a massive amount of blood comes bubbling out of the water. He's going to be picking more diamonds out of his face.
Just impaled by an icicle.
Oh, my goodness. Now I'm looking at my DVD player and I'm like, still 30 more minutes?
Right.
How can this be?
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Bond finds Jinx, who is nearly drowned and froze, and he saves her by taking her to the hot, purifying waters of the atrium. The hot water rejuvenates her, and we're all good. Back at base, we got Michael Madsen trying to light a cigarette like a Jim Oak. We're all we can't go after Graves because he's in North Korea. The American government won't allow us, and Bond says, well, I'm not American. I can do it. He volunteers to go to North Korea. Michael Madsen says, I got a lot riding on this. Jinx, you're going with them. To which they, mini jet glider into North Korea. Instead of just what are they halo jumping? Is that what it is when they have the oxygen masks because they're too high?
Yeah,
it's like that, but they're also on these mechanical
drone things.
Yeah, they land in. Meanwhile, Michael Madsen's like, well, you guys are gonna call me crazy, but I'm just gonna shoot a missile at the Icarus, and then boom, I'll be a hero.
Done.
They shoot it. I like how unbothered the bad guys are about it. Like, the computer goes, and the German scientist is like, oh, they're shooting a missile at Icarus. And Graves just goes, just keep it on automatic. And so he goes, oh, okay. And then Icarus just automatically fires a beam of heat, destroying the missile. And, just so unfazed by it. It's like, ooh.
Just leave it on, bro.
You don't need to... Remember, you don't need to tell me this because we have automatic on. Oh, that is why you are the boss and I am not. Bond and Jinx sneak onto Graves' plane as it's about to take off. Graves requests his father's appearance as he puts on what I can only assume is more gaming armor. The rest of his Nintendo glove accessories.
Hell yeah.
The chest plate. And when you go to Pojo's to do the VR stuff, he's got that headset on. Again, it still feels like we're 10 years even past when that was cool.
Yeah.
Graves reveals his identity to his father and shows him that using Icarus, we can destroy the demilitarized zone, and we can essentially just follow this path. There won't be any mines. His father is terrified of this. He was like, you are going to get us all killed. He pulls a gun on Graves, only for Graves to then Emperor Lightning electrocute his own father, take the gun from him, and shoot him, and then just be like, oh well, what are you going to do?
Cost of doing business.
Yep. Bond appears, and he tries to shoot Graves, but is interfered with, and instead he shoots a hole in the plane. And what we know from Goldfinger, when that happens, people get sucked out, which we see German scientists, gone, sucked out of the plane. Pierce Brosnan makes the really cool joke, everybody's bailed. Or something like, your friends have bailed, or something like that. Yeah. While Jinx is in the cockpit trying to level out because there's a friggin' hole in the side of the plane, Rosamund Pike appears with a giant sword at her neck. She went and had a change of clothes. She puts on the wackiest outfit I've ever seen. It's just like sweatpants and then like a sports bra, but also
it's like she's doing hip hop.
But there's a sword holster on her back too.
It says, I'm going to yoga, but I'm also here for the sword duel.
Here you guys are dueling in here?
Remember when we said I won a gold medal in
duel?
fencing? It's all setting up for a sword fight. She tells Jinx to put it on autopilot, which she does, but not
before...
before...
snap, this says autopilot too?
Yeah. But not before fixing the plane so it's turning and it's heading right towards the heat beam of Icarus. The plane travels right into the beam, practically destroying the plane. It's now on a collision course. And I have here, while Jinx and Pike sword fight, and Bond and Graves have a classic Donnybrook with a lot of slow-mo. So we're cross-cutting back and forth between a knife and a sword fight, and then just like an old-fashioned fisticuff. Jinx gets the upper hand on Pike after she makes the silly comment, I can read your mind, to which conveniently there is a knife that is stuck in a book of the art of war, to which she stabs into her chest and says, read this.
Got him.
Yo, mama said to read this.
Yeah.
Killing Rosamund Pike. We go back to the Bond fight. Graves gets the upper hand, begins monologuing about how you can't defeat him. It's time to face destiny. Oh, look, parachutes. Not anymore. He throws him out of the plane. I have the only parachute. He's slowly putting it on, letting him know that his technology is the future and it's time to face destiny. And he even gets on one knee right next to Bond, and he's like doing the I got you good, you fucker speech. Mm-hmm. While Bond goes and he grabs and he pulls on Graves' ripcord, but holds on to him for a little bit. The ripcord, the parachute gets sucked out of the plane, so it's pulling him back. He goes flying backwards. He holds onto the side of the plane. And Brosnan, probably one of the worst line deliveries I've ever heard in my entire life, goes, not destiny, it's time to face gravity.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which doesn't even come into play, because then he uses the suit to electrocute him as he's holding onto the plane. He gets electrocuted. and he goes flying back and flies directly into the jet engine, and then just gets missed out the back. So gravity didn't even come into play.
Yeah, that's a different force of nature. Forces.
By killing Graves, Icarus shuts off automatically. To which, Michael Madsen does like one of those, yeah, we did it, boys, lights the cigarette properly, and M just kind of gives him like the, you're dumb. You're fucking stupid, aren't you? Like one of those faces. But the plane is still crashing. Bond and Jinx open the back of the plane because there's a helicopter in the back of it, along with like 2 Corvettes. Here's what we're going to do.
Conveniently placed helicopter.
We're going to start the conveyor belt. It's going to spit us out. And I'm just going to kickstart this midair. It's obviously a stick shift, so he knows that once he's going just a little bit, he can just, pop it into first, and it's all good to go. That's exactly what happens, guys. There's a second where you don't think it is. They turn around, they see the helicopter's just full of diamonds. This is a scene where it's obvious that Halle Berry and Pierce Brosnan are on a set, kind of thing, and they're just trying to get like reaction shots, and Pierce Brosnan, every time they cut to him, he's just going, Jinx goes, if we die, at least we'll die rich, and he goes,
Caveman.
Sees the diamonds, and then they cut to an image earlier. They show the same face again, as he then kickstarts the helicopter. They're able to avoid hitting the ground just enough. They're saved. We cut to the helicopter on the Oceanside Hilltop Chalet, where they're making innuendos about putting it back in, and it's too big and it won't fit, only to find out that they're having sex on a pile of diamonds. And that is the end of this movie. Wink to camera. We did it. 40-year anniversary.
Out with a bang.
All right. Let's talk turkey here. Obviously, we're not high on this movie. Brandon, you said that Pierce Brosnan is like bottom. Your bottom Bond. Bottom B.
Yeah, bottom B.
I think I have him at 5, just because I still enjoy things in all 4 movies. Whereas George Lazenby only had the 1, and I think he's the worst part of it. So at least Brosnan has more that I can go to. I'm not gonna, Die Another Day is not gonna be one that I'm really only watching Die Another Day in this context, or if I'm going through and rewatching all of them. This isn't one that I'm putting in for shits and gigs.
No way.
Either GoldenEye or World Is Not Enough for the Brosnan era are my fun watches. Not to say I didn't have fun watching this one, but Michael, now that we've seen 5 different Bonds, where does Brosnan rank for you? We also, by the way, did not talk about where we have Dalton also. So also give me your Dalton.
I think Brosnan's at the very bottom. It could be, I don't know. I liked all the other ones better. This one, maybe since it was this movie, it just kind of yeah, I don't know. He's at the bottom. I can't describe it. Everybody else felt like they not tried harder. I really don't know the word, but it just seems like this was is with the weird little action or reaction shots, and then it just felt very thin. It just felt like he was just I'm just here for doing a Bond movie, I guess.
It's really heartbreaking watching there's a massive documentary that has interviews with everybody. I think everybody but Sean Connery. And just Brosnan, just clearly the look of disappointment on his face that he wasn't able to at least come back and try to redeem himself from this one. Brandon, you have a constipated look on your face.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just left disappointed, I guess.
It's yeah. We're obviously heading in to the Craig era. They do a full restart where I feel like in Bond canon, Connery all the way to Brosnan is supposed to be the same person, whereas Daniel Craig truly does feel like a complete reboot. You know, Casino Royale, which we will talk about next week, obviously, gives you the whole how he gets his 00 license and all that fun stuff, and kind of kickstarts off. Also, with Craig series, they also decided to stop just kind of doing one-offs, where they all kind of live outside of themselves, whereas Craig's all connected in his 5 films.
Yeah, they're
for
all
better
the same,
or for worse. Yeah.
Same story arc, same world, if you will.
Yeah.
Same timeline.
But I don't know. I'm definitely excited. Obviously, we're going out on a high note. We'll obviously talk about what we think about Casino Royale next week, but it is often considered, you know, top 2, if not top 1, Bond films of all time. Which is interesting because it's a lot of guys playing poker for the whole movie. But I'm a big fan. I'm excited. But we still have one order of business to talk about before we sign off. We're getting near the end of our Bond series. So just like how we started with Brandon choosing rom-coms, Michael chose Adam Sandler, I chose James Bond. Brandon, it falls back to you as far as what we're doing. Obviously, we're not going to we won't choose movies until next time. But if you will just let us know, what are we doing?
You guys ready?
What are we doing?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Tom Cruise.
All 6 Mission Impossible.
No, please don't.
Just Tom Cruise, period.
Just Tom Cruise, period.
All right.
All right. Thomas Cruise.
Thomas.
Cool. Sick.
I don't know how many other movies besides the Mission Impossible ones I've seen with Tom Cruise, so this will be good.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Me
Tom
too.
Cruise
Because
is
I feel like there's quite a few that I haven't seen, but there's also quite a few that I have seen. But
Yeah.
he's got a wide variety.
Yeah, he does. I'd say up until like once he gets into once these Mission Impossible movies start coming out, he becomes kind of
about
like,
half. I think about halfway through, like after Mission Impossible 3, you could tell like that's his role now. Like, but you know, some of the Jack Reacher movies, you know, he's got a lot of older ones too. So there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely crack open his IMDb and try to find some juicy nugs.
Yeah.
Is this like the like Sandler one where it's like he has to be like kind of more or less not the like the main character or like a
I would say so. Like, I don't think we're gonna choose Tropic Thunder, which is a movie he is in, but like that's not a Tom Cruise movie.
I'm not gonna choose Austin Powers Goldmember when he's in it for like half a second.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if we keep it like the Adam Sandler rules, like, yeah.
He's got to have that star bill, you know.
Yeah. Number 1 on the call sheet.
Bingo.
Groovy.
Cool.
Well, we will be back. Well, first of all, do we anything else we need to say about Die Another Day?
Nah,
Put it
in
to
a
bed.
box. Throw it away.
Yeah. Kill it.
Done.
We will be back next week with not only the conclusion to our Bond series with Casino Royale, but also with our Tom Cruise picks. What do you say we go ahead and cut, print, check the gate?
See you guys.
See ya.